Hi, I'm Ceci Magaña from Sol Ballroom Studio, the ballet instructor. I hope everyone had a wonderful weekend. You're surrounded by loved ones, you're staying connected with the outside world in a very safe environment, and I hope everyone is ready to dance. So, today we're actually going to focus on arms and feet. So, I am going to give a few feet exercise and then we'll move on to a few arm exercise. And this part of it is technique, and the other one is aesthetics, being artistic with our movements. So I'm going to use this fold D chair and we'll get started. And we'll incorporate some music as well. So let me just set up this music. Okay, for our first one, all these are footwork. You should be able to do it easily holding onto something. Let me set up my camera just a little bit lower, because all of this is just focusing on the feet. You don't even need to see my face. You just have to see my feet. I'm gonna go a little bit at an angle so you can see me. So we won't work on plies or anything. All this is just footwork. Okay. So hopefully you have done some feet stretches prior to it. If you haven't, we'll do a few feet stretches here. So from here, we're just gonna go elevate and down, elevate and down, elevate and down, elevate and down, plie, releve, plie, releve, plie, releve, plie, releve, and we'll stretch outward. That way we can relax our feet. We'll turn out, elevates, releves, stretching our feet out, parallel, first, plie, releve, or elevates, plie, releves, stretch, turn out, plie, elevates, or elevates, plie, releves, stretch out, and same thing, elevates, plie, releves. So let me look for a good song to play. Right. Elevate, down, up, 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 plie, up, Parallel, up, down. Make sure they're straight, up, 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 plie, releve, plie, releve, plie, releve, okay, stretching. I'll wait for the song to start up again. Open, plie, or sorry, elevate, down, elevate, down, elevate, down, elevate, down, plie, releve, plie, releve, stretching our feet. Parallel, second, elevate, down. releve, plie, releve, plie, releve. Very good. Stretch out your legs. Very good. Okay. For the next one, this is for your feet. I really want you to think about how much force are you using to push on to the balls of your toes? How much are you actually leading from the arch? So this is what I mean. Because sometimes people just tend to roll too much. When they extend, some people, they push out and they do this. And sure, they're pointing, but if you can see, my heel is close to the floor. I'm doing what they call sickling. So it's about pushing that inner arch forward. That does come with rotation. So just because we're working on our feet doesn't mean that we forget about our rotation. What I mean when I say we do focused feet exercise is to actually strengthen more our foot for both feet while working on turn. So this one, just if you're sensitive, just take it easy. But the idea is that we're going to go for point it, and then we're going to push as far forward as we can, point it. And then we're going to go over our toes and as much as you can. So if you can't go that far, that's perfectly fine. To me, I can go really far, but just go over your toes. What you're doing is that you're working on the top part of your arch. Okay, so think of it of working under and over. Okay, and then we close. Undo, push as much as you can onto the top of your toe, and then as much forward as you possibly can, and then again to the back, to the side, and then again front. Undo, push as much as you can, undo, over your toe, close. Undo, push to the balls of your toes, undo, over your toes. Barrier, and back to à la seconde. So let me look for a tendu song. This one should be fine. Ready? Tendu. Push. Tendu. Pull. Tendu. Go over. Tendu. And first. Perfect position. And tendu. And push, push, push. Undo and over. Undo. Derriere. Push, 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 push. Undo. I'm going to use this leg. Over your toe. Over your toe. You can bend this leg. That's perfectly fine. And back. I'll stick one. Over your toe. Over your toe. Over your toe. Undo. As far forward as you can. Undo. Close. We're going to get ready for the other side. This time we stand to the side so you can see my feet. Undo. Push. Undo. Over your toe. If you need to bend your back leg, that's perfectly fine. Undo. Close. Undo. Push, 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 push. Point. Over your toe. Over your toe. And place behind. Nervous. Push, 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 push. Undo. Over your toe. Over your toe. Close. Undo. Push, 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 push. Undo. Over your toe. Undo. And close. Very good. Very good. For the next one, we're thinking about half point and full point. So if you remember from our exercise videos, when I have you flex and just pointing the toes or pointing and flexing just the toes, same thing. This will be en plat, which means across. And we're also going to work on turning in and out. So obviously, when we look at professional ballet, you hardly ever, unless choreographed, see dancers start like this. They're always turned out. But this is a good exercise for the turnout that we said, and also that you can flex as much as you can and really think turning. See how far can you turn and see that inner arch. Halfway, so it's not the best lighting, but I will bring my camera down a little bit. And I'll show you with my inner foot. So this is halfway and then full extension. So we're going to go from our fifth position, we're going to go halfway to full, to flex, turn in, turn out, 2 point, half, and close. And that will be all the way around. So let me fix my camera again. Very good. So we're going to go halfway to full, flex, in, out, point, half, and close. Half to full, flex, in, out, point, half, close. Again, just because at this point we turn in doesn't mean that we allow the standing leg to also turn in. You should keep that rotation going outward. Okay, same to the back, half to full point, flex, in. So this is going to be the hard part when it goes to the back, because you got to keep that rotation in. So remember, it's not about clenching your butt, it's about pushing your butt downward. So when you let that leg turn inward, this should still be rotating. Right now, I'm feeling some tension right here, which is good. That means I'm working on my rotation. So here, in, out, point, half, close. Then last side, half to full, to flex, to in, to out, to point, to half, and close. Let's find another tendu. Other side. Half point, full point, flex, turning in, turning out, and point, half, and close. Half, full, flex, in, flex, turning in, turning out, point, half, and close. Very good. Now, just make sure, because I have hyperextension, which means that my leg, so if you can see my standing leg, this should be a proper straight leg. My knee actually goes further back. So be careful with that, because I noticed that when I went behind and went halfway, it almost looked like I did this with my leg. And I'm not. It's full straight, but it looks like I bent it. Make sure that even if you're doing in front or to the side, that leg is still very, very much straight, even though you don't go full point and then flip it to full point. Very good. Now for some tendus and some dégagés and some frappés. So, tendus. We're only going to do it to the sides. So, tendu, close, tendu, close, tendu, close, tendu, close. And a 1, 2, 3, 4, 6, 7, 8. So if you have seen the previous videos, the tendu should feel like you're cleaning with a towel a stain on the floor, while a dégagé is like you're flicking a bug off the floor. You're throwing him out the door. Or even, it could be your broom. Let's imagine your leg is a broom and you're flicking a bug to the street. So flick. If you really want to send that bug flying out there. Okay? Think about turning out. Think about that straight line that I mentioned that goes all the way towards your middle toe. So push and a push. And again, this, I'm going to kind of sit here for a second so I can demonstrate. Just imagine my legs are straight. I don't need to have it all the way up here for a dégagé. That's not what it is. Dégagé should be just as much as my toe can extend while being in a natural position. So imagine this is me being straight, push, 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 push. You're gonna think, if you think more small, you're gonna get there faster. And think of in, in, in. You just flick it, flick it. Because the idea of flicking is that you're bringing it back in, whatever you're swatting. Because everyone at one point has swatted a fly. We roll that towel, and when we're hitting, we go, and we bring it back in. Or like the tongue of a frog, I go, out it. It doesn't sustain, it doesn't stay here. It starts from in here, and it has to come back inside. Okay? So let me look for a good tendu dégagé song. Maybe this tango will work. Ready? Tendu. 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 Dégagé. Down. Close. 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 You. Tendu. Tendu. You. Dégagé. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Very good. Also, even though we're going fast, well, it's not a very fast pace, but because we're going fast, we still need to think. Flat to half to full point, pushing out to point to halfway, flat. So I'll start over to the top to do the other side. Undo. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Do. Undo. 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 1, do with our feet is rond de jambe. And the reason being, again, as I mentioned earlier, that we tend to let our feet do this. And when we go back, we let it fall too far or we turn it in. So this is a lot about rotation and pulling up with our heel and also making a complete circle. So I always tell my little kids that you have to imagine that you're cutting a pizza halfway, that you're starting from the middle of the pizza and you slice straight in front. And then you go all the way to the back. So this is not back. See, my chair's in the way, but this isn't the back. The back is completely right here. So you can actually tell because you can't see my foot. It's covered by my front leg. If I overdo it, then that's not a symmetry. So making sure it goes all the way to the front and see I'm covering my back leg. Goes to the side, all the way around. It's hidden close. Okay. So we're just going to work on 2 rond de jambes without music and very slowly, and we'll do it together. Okay. So separation, 7, 8. Slow, halfway, the full point, keeping your heel in front, making sure that it's straight in front of you. Now, you're going to keep that heel up, keep it up, keep it up, keep it up, keep it up till you get to this diagonal. And then you're going to slowly, slowly, slowly let that leg rotate because we can't do any more inner rotation. All the way behind us, keeping that heel up. Well, not too high up. Just making sure that your big toe is being rested on the floor to close. And now we're going to do it rotating to the back. Back. So you're not keeping that heel up or you're turning your knee in. You make sure that your knee is right behind you. Weight on your big toe. And you're going to start rotating, 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 rotating. You get to this diagonal. Reason being is if I stand here, you can see the inside of my arch. So here, and then it slowly moves all the way to the front. So I at no point let that heel drop, except until I get to the very back. And let's try that on the other side with our leg to the front, keeping that heel up. It maintains, it maintains, maintains to a cone, making sure that arch is rotating. You're rotating from here, you're rotating from here, flat right here. And all the way behind, okay? Putting that weight on your back foot. Now, don't let it collapse. You should still feel energy going from your hip all the way to your toes. Just don't let it increase that energy by doing this. And close to the back. And rotating backwards, point. So here, remember, the heel is technically a little lower. But as soon as it starts to go forward, I'm working on rotating, 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 rotating to show my inner foot. Keep rotating, keep rotating, keep rotating, keep rotating to get to the front and close. Very good. And that is all for the foot part of the exercise. You ever need to do any foot stretches beforehand, do so. Work on elevates or elevates. Also trying to do it with one foot, holding onto something or not holding onto something. Making sure that from the knee all the way to your toes, it's a straight line. You don't let it curve either way, shape, or form. So now we're going to work on arms. So I want you to imagine yourself being in a pool, especially when you're little kids, and you want to splash someone, but it doesn't just happen like that. It's heavy. The water kind of is heavy, so you have to push through. You have to push through. So that's what we're going to imagine with our hands. We're also going to think the mechanics of it. So shoulders down, elongating the shoulder blades, the neck, the wrists, the fingers, everything. So, and I forgot what this is called. I actually found out the name for this position when it's in rest. Right now, we'll just call this in rest. So even though this is in rest, not letting your arms fall, it's having some weight. And really, it's so in case the choreographer says, okay, start moving your arms, your wrists are so jelly-like, but your shoulders aren't jelly. It's just this part. So, preparation. Now thinking you're pushing the water upward. You're kind of deep in the pool and you're going to push it up, 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 push, 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 push. And let's try that again. Making sure I'm going to stand to the side so you can see the arm should come up to here, belly button height. Not letting your elbow fall down or increase. It should be a smooth ramp downward. Shoulder blades should not push. They should relax. You should imagine a straight canvas. Okay. Let's try that again. Push, 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 push up. Now, when we're going to push out to the side, or else a cone, you have to think pushing the water with the back of your hand. Like if you're going to slap someone in the water, but it's going to be slow motion. So we're going to push, 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 push. And remember, this is not a correct cone. Bring it closely to the front. So ladies, for us, even if we have bigger chests, you have to imagine your arms go in front of your chest. Same with men. Men have broader shoulders and chest. They also have to keep those arms right there, still with the idea that the ramp is going here, making sure that you're not scrunching and you're not scrunching. You should, if you're doing this properly, you should feel some tension going up your arm here and even sometimes under your arm if you are doing this correctly. So from rest to first, pushing open to second. And as we fall, we're going to push with this side of our arms or hands. Push, 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 push to scoop. Because we're imagining like we're scooping water. So from second, scooping, 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 scooping here. And still imagining that we have toothpicks right here. There should not be a closeness right here in your armpits. You should still imagine it's long. Okay? And careful with crab arms. You have to keep that relaxed. I prefer where you can kind of see the inside of your hands because it's demonstrating, a beautiful gesture to someone, a presentation. And if you do crab arms, that looks scary. All right, so let's go all the way to fifth position from our rest to first, all the way to fifth position arms. And imagining that we have that unicorn hand or unicorn horn. Okay, so growing up, this was actually correct because the idea was not to cover your face. But if we're being realistic for balance, really this is it. And normally we don't get a moment where we are towards our side completely. Because even if I'm here, I open up and I'm presenting myself. And this arm is helping me balance from anything that my legs are doing behind me. So from here, all the way to first to fifth. Okay, so we just push from this part of our arms all the way up. Same, now we're going to use that bottom part of our arms to open up to the side and down. Now, let's go into arabesque arms. So we'll do it from different positions to get into an arabesque arm. So up to first, and as this straightens out, this should open at the same time. Straight And it should be almost eye level, the tip of your arm, not letting it do duck arms that I sometimes tend to do when I'm not fully paying attention to my arms. Fully here, fully here. This is the only time you can actually go to your side and not right here. Completely to the side is fine. If you want to open it, imagine someone's grabbing from your front wrist to push forward. That will allow your arms to make it look like this without having to open your shoulder blades. Here, open up. So, pushing from the top, open. So this should feel like a pull rather than a push. Someone pulls you, and then as you fall down, comes back to first. Try the other arm, up, simultaneously, pull, and release. Very good. Now let's go all the way from first to fifth, and we're opening at the same time here. So what's happening to my arms is that it goes here, and then it transforms into here. So fifth, open, release. All the way to fifth, and open at the same time. Very good. Now we'll go into third position arms. So here, all the way to fifth, this arm opens up. Okay. Here, all the way to fifth, open up in third, and down. Okay, other arm, fifth, open, and down. Here, open, third, and we'll do the other way, which I was doing earlier. First, open at the same time, and back. Here, to open, release. Now for arabesque into a third position arm. First position to here, up, up, here, very good. All that is important to think about. Fourth position isn't very common in variations except for a padishah. Padishah, which is to pick up the legs so that it can go. But we'll work on those fourth position arms. Simultaneous. Simultaneous. Together. Together. Very good. All right. And as far as arm work goes, that's basically most of the arm things that we do. The only reason it might look like more than that is by chest. So if we're doing a balance day or a waltz, I am not lifting my arm, rather I'm lifting my chest. It helps me move. So chest forward, chest down. So I invite you that you practice also, if you want to practice with heights, to make it look like you have different arm movements. Here, pushing up, pushing down, up, pushing down, opening it up. Oh, that might be actually another arm position. Here, and open. Here. Okay. Those could be for cabrioles, which is the being of our feet as we go in towards one direction. It can be for plie, for glissade, ensemble. So arms here. So Not letting the arm do this. It's very, very easy to let your arm go behind. All it is that you're pushing your sternum, your head towards that direction, and it looks like it's going behind you. When in fact, it should be right here, still in front of you. But going back, so arms. And for any jumps that you might do, for example, in here, when you jump, letting your elbows push up, push down. So if anybody has seen Swan Lake, those arms are very flowy, but they're not really moving too much from their shoulder blades. Rather, they're letting their elbows bend extremely a lot to give it the illusion that they're flapping a lot. So when it comes to jumps, the idea of a grand jeté is to make it like you're a very fluffy lamb jumping over a fence and you're just like, just ah. So it's the idea of when you jump. So up to down, up to down, up to down, up to down. Okay, and that is the end of the video. Let me just bring my chair forward, that way I can talk to you all. So I hope everyone enjoyed today's lessons about working with our feet and working with our arm. So if that still is, for you to practice your turnout, and really now, turnout isn't just with our legs, it's also, are you letting your arms, are you turning out with your arms as well? That's also the thing, your turnout with your arms. So I hope everyone has a safe, healthy, loving weekday and weekend. Please stay safe, stay clean, stay positive. If you have some bad days, that's perfectly fine. The cool thing about YouTube, the video will stay there. It is for you to go back anytime you want. You can pull up a video that I did a few weeks ago. You can not watch this video today and decide to watch it next week, whatever you like, because everything I teach, is always changing. It happens every week. Something new happens. We learn new things. We learn old things. And there's nothing wrong that you look back at what you've done in the past, what you've seen me done in the past, and apply it to what you're learning today. Or anything that I'm teaching now, you hold back. You don't do it now because you want to work on other things that you prioritize as far as your flexibility, your strength, your movement, your artistry, whatever the case may be. But anyways, I hope everyone is doing good, and I will see you guys next week. Bye-bye, everyone.